Have you ever been asked to share your thoughts or your skills or what you found as an employer to some kind of government?
No, not from a government one. I was interviewed many years ago, but it was from I think it was something called Game Changers or whatever else. And how does a bloke from the Western Queensland turn up in Brisbane and then start something and sort of make it a success?
Sure.
Well, it's purely, I always say, well, it's not me. I'm just happen to be the last person standing from when it started.
Sure.
And it should always be noted that the whole structure and the effort put in by everyone is part of what makes it work. But no, I've never been asked. I was chatting to, I think her name's Michaela Cash, who could be the Industrial Relations Alternative Minister.
Yes.
And that was before the election, the last federal. I said, come out and have a look at what we do and how we do it.
She's got some teeth when she wants to fight.
Well, she might, but she didn't bother coming out to have a look because she probably thought, who's this nobody? Because no one knows who I am, and I'm not about to start telling everyone who I am. I just go about doing it because I think that's more important. Do it. And then someone said to me, oh, you do it and then ask for forgiveness. Well, I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm just looking to this is the best way to do it. And if you're the leader, you have to make a decision.
Yes.
So make one.
You're a good man, mate. Can I get your advice on something? Because I've been I listen to Peter Schiff online, and he makes the argument on Joe Rogan and other podcasts. Peter Schiff, he's a gold company, and he has various different companies. He makes the argument that 50, 60 years ago, they didn't really have minimum wage laws previously, and you actually had kids that would pump your gas. It would be, if you had no minimum wage, it allowed people to enter the workforce at a very young age and actually enter the workforce and actually go up. So he gives the example specifically of the petrol station, where you had a kid there, you'd give him something very small, maybe I don't know what they paid back then, but it was well below the modern day minimum wage, and it allowed the kid to learn skills like turning up on time, dealing with people, pumping the gas. Apparently they were the best kept cars at the time. And so those kids entering into the market of employment, they went on to become the mechanics, as they were rubbing shoulders with the mechanics that were connected to the petrol stations and even owning the petrol station themselves. Do you think that the minimum wage has been a net negative or a net positive?
Probably in my time, it's been around for most of the time, the salary structures.
Sure.
But when we get a pay rise, the Fair Work Commission, that'd be the most misnamed operation in Australia. I may, if you ask me what I do, I'd probably shut that for a start.
Right.
Because it's rubbish. But the Fair Work Commission makes a decision to give a 3.5% or 4% wage rise. Now, that's not the first part of it, because then you've got all the add-ons, the superannuation, the increased payroll tax, the increased this and that and that. And they say, increased productivity. Doesn't happen. Whatever productivity you've got, that's it. Now, when they make that determination and then say we're looking for increased productivity, give the pay rise, but don't make some,
If I can just take 20 seconds of your time, I apologise for interrupting this clip. If you'd like to support Turning Point Australia and what we're doing to help keep the lights on and keep the work going moving forward, please check out our website at tpaust.com.au. We've got a range of merchandise, whether it's the Make Australia Great Again hat, whether it's the other shirts that we have, or the educational maps that we have. Please go and support. If you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can also support us by buying us a coffee and becoming a regular subscriber for as little as $4 a month. I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much.
Ridiculous comment about increasing productivity. That will only come on how the people who are working with you perceive the enterprise and can they get something better out of what they do. But it's usually going to be generated from management to say we can probably do this better. If it becomes increased productivity. I started work probably at the age of 6 or 7, I think it was, on the farm. And if you're a child of a farmer, as soon as you could do something, you went and did it. And my job might have been penning up the sheep.
Yeah.
I was sent to boarding school at the age of 8, which is a pretty good, backgrounding. So you learn resilience, you learn a whole lot of things, and probably where you're coming from is a young bloke of 7 or 8 or 9 going and helping in Dad's garage or someone who the father knows.
Yeah.
doing menial work, cleaning the windscreens when the cars come in.
Yeah.
That's good, because he's going to learn to keep out of the way of a car that's rolling too fast, and he's going to learn how to do that and then get his 25 cents or whatever it was. And probably in my case, I was lucky that I was forced into, not forced, but given the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
Because you're right, you learned to get out of bed. Good starting point.
Well, that was where I'm coming from. You know, a lot of these, let's call them WOG families, Lebanese, Italians, Greeks, they'd often work in the family restaurant, work on the construction site with their father, and they would be on illegal wages below minimum wage, and they did this under the table. And you know, I'll openly admit that's what happened with me working under Dad, and it gave me skills, and it forced me to get up at 5 a.m. So it's easy to do now. And these are basic things that we just don't see now. So when I say to someone, but Joel, we've got to have a $15 minimum wage for Macca's workers, because otherwise, you know, how are they going to live? How are they going to fund their kids and this and that? And I'm like, they're not meant to be in a Macca's job with that. You know, that is meant to be for the younger kids coming into the workforce. It's not meant to be your final destination as a job.
Yeah, well, we've got people who ask us, could their 13-year-old daughter come and have 3 hours on a Saturday?
Yeah.
And they'd be happy for it, probably a bit of child mining, quite frankly. But that aside, we say we can give them a menial task that is important.
Yeah.
We could do something for them, or they could just be cleaning the floor, or putting the boxes that are empty altogether in a corner and cutting them down. There is lots of small jobs that would have a lot of relevance to thousands and thousands of small companies.
Yeah.
And because we have some dictatorial bloody ruling made, all that's gone, and then all of that inclusivity, if you want to have the word inclusivity, opportunity to do things, is dismissed. But you're legislating, and it's bad legislation. There's I've yet to see a piece of legislation, I'm sorry to say, in the last 40 years. Gee, that's a good piece. Now, someone will tell me what such and such, but most of it is constructed for the benefit of someone somewhere that doesn't need the benefit.
Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this particular clip. If you want to support this show and keep the lights on and support everything we're doing at Turning Point Australia, please head to tpaust.com.au, where we've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got maps. And if you don't want to buy any merch, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just buy maybe a cup of coffee a month, for as little as $4 a month, you can help us get a small long black to actually support the show and actually keep things going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.